Hello and how are you to all my faith leapers and risk takers? I am Chantel and this is Leaping Together. So in this video we'll be talking about different ways to help you do it scared. So sometimes you may want to take a leap of faith or risk and people are like, do it scared, and you're like, but what does that mean though? Like, I know what you mean, but like how do I do it scared? So on this video I'll be giving you 5 different ways to help you do it scared, and if you stay to the end I'll give you 2 extra. So first things first, I just want to let's just get rid of these 2 things before we jump into it. First one being that the thought that I can't move forward until I get rid of this fear. That is a lie. Throw that in the trash. We no longer believe that, because if it was left up to us, we wouldn't get anything done waiting on fear to leave. Okay? So that's in the trash. And the second thing we're going to throw in the trash is the thought that I cannot do anything, I cannot take a leap of faith or risk until it is the right time. Sis, can I tell you it's never going to be the right time? Like, never ever going to be the right time. Like, even when it's almost the right time, like you almost got every single duck in a row, something's going to happen and then it's no longer going to be the right time. So let's just go ahead and do it, because there's never going to be a right time to do anything, okay? So now that we talked about that, let's jump into it. So the first thing that you can do to help you do it scared is think of the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario. So in my case, the worst case scenario for me is that if I don't end up finding an event space or the event space becoming successful, my worst case scenario is I have to go back to work. That's my worst case scenario. That's it. So identify what your worst case scenario is, and a lot of us are actually living our worst case scenarios. So you're living, you're breathing, you're getting things done. It's not ideal. You may not be where you want to be, but you're alive, you're making it happen, you're making it work. So just think about what your worst case scenario would be, okay? Number 2, the second thing that can help you is to gain knowledge. The more knowledge you gain, the more confidence you gain. And knowledge, you can get this knowledge from courses, ebooks, seminars, workshops, conferences, networking event, YouTube. You can get information from all these different places on whatever it is. Like for me, I gain information through a course and being a part of a Facebook group to kind of build up my knowledge about the ins and outs, things to know, what people went through when getting an event space. So now I feel more confident. I felt more confident about leaving my job because I had some information. I didn't just go completely blind knowing nothing, because that would make me even more scared. But the fact that I had information, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I know some stuff about it. Now, while we're on this subject, you are not going to know everything, okay? You're not going to know everything about whatever you want to do. And a lot of times you only know a certain amount, and the other information you won't know until you actually do the thing, until you actually have experience, until you actually start working, until you actually start moving. You won't be able to get the information at point B if you're still stuck at point A. Okay? And another thing that goes along with that is all my procrastinators, aka loving to do tons and tons of research, yes, that is a form of procrastination. We call it analysis paralysis, okay? So let's not be overcome by getting so much information. Oh, I'm not going to do it because I don't have enough information. At some point in time, I need you to execute on this information and not just gather it. I don't want you at year 2, year 3, still gathering information. We're not doing it. Nope, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Okay? So the next thing is releasing control. Number 3, releasing control. And this is huge. This is when doing it scared. This is doing life. When you get to the point, I'm still working on it. I have, my good days where I'm like, yeah, I'm releasing control. And then I have my bad days where I'm like, I want to control everything. But releasing control, realizing that you won't know every single thing, every single intricate detail that will happen from the time you plan on taking the leap until you get to the destination. You won't know everything. You can't control everything. So once you get that into your mind that I can only control what I can control, and I can't control how this all is going to play out. I can have hope. I can make a plan, but I will not be so locked in and not be flexible to the plan shifting and changing a bit, right? Because I've adopted this perspective of how my journey is going now. Because if it was up to me, I would have been at an event space months ago and just doing the whole thing. But it's not up to me. It's not completely in my control. So here I am. But I've adopted this perspective that I've adopted this perspective that the way things are going is to benefit me. Yes, it would have been nice if I had my event space months ago, but I wouldn't have grown as much as I've grown. I wouldn't have learned as much as I've learned. I wouldn't have built as much confidence as I've built over this time. So just look at it as how things may go or how they are going is to benefit you. Because if you got it when you wanted it, how exactly you wanted it, you wouldn't allow yourself to grow. You'd be like, I don't want no obstacles. I don't want no challenges. I want to just get from point A to point B straight, period, point blank. You wouldn't grow. You wouldn't grow and you wouldn't learn. Okay? So, number 4. Number 4 is to, let me look at my list. Sorry, I got off track. Number 4 is take it one day at a time. If you look too far in the future, you overwhelm yourself, you get anxiety, you think of a million things that can go wrong and a million reasons why you can't do it. You think too far in the past, then you start thinking like, oh, I shouldn't do it. You keep yourself in the familiar, in the comfortable. So just take it one day at a time. Make a list of things that you want to accomplish that day. And when you do accomplish those things, celebrate yourself. It doesn't have to be a whole party, but just acknowledge that I've grown. Even if it's in little increments, I've grown. I did this. Yesterday I didn't have my LLC, but today I do. Yesterday I didn't have my domain name, but now I do. Yesterday I didn't have my logo, but today I do. I have it. I'm growing, I'm getting better, I'm taking one step closer to my dream, to my goal, to my purpose, to that leap of faith, right? And the last thing that you can do is pick a time. Pick a time, pick a date. Okay? All of this means nothing if you don't hold yourself accountable and pick a date and a time, or just a date of when you want to make things happen. So after you gather your knowledge and things like that, then I want you to set a date. Okay, in 6 months, I'm doing this. In 1 year, I'm leaving my job. In 18 months, I'm moving to another city. In 2 years, I'm going back to school. Set a date and try your hardest. Try your hardest to stick to it. I know things will come up and things may cause that date to change, but don't give yourself an out so easily. Like, things happen, so certain things you just gonna have to change the date if you have to, but other things sometimes we tend to give our stuff out, like, oh, X, Y, and Z happens, so I gotta push it back a little bit. Do you though? Or are you just procrastinating? Are you letting fear take over because the date is getting closer? Okay, we got to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. So, since you stayed here for this long, I'll give you 2 extra things you can do when doing it scared. So, number 6, realize that disruption comes with intention. So once you become intentional and you become laser focused on this is what I'm going to do, there will be challenges, obstacles, distractions, disruptions. I need you to know that, and I need you to look at it from a perspective like, if these things are happening, that means I'm on the right track. Because when I wasn't worrying about anything, then I wasn't getting distracted. But once I started focusing and becoming intentional about my leap of faith and this risk that I want to take, now things are coming left and right, left and right. Stay the course. That means you're doing something right. That means you're doing something right. Stay the course. You got it. You got it. It's okay to take a rest. It's okay to take a break, but get back to it. You are on the right track. I promise you. I promise you. Okay? I've had no's. I've been ghosted by realtors. Like, disruption. It's all disruption because I'm on the right track, right? And the last and final thing is to get anchored. Get anchored. Think positive thoughts. Get anchored. And what do I mean by this? Find something that you can go to that can put you back on track mentally, right? We have to renew our minds every single day. Every single day. It is not a game, because you will try and talk yourself out of doing something real quick. Day 1, you can be like, I got it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm ready. Day 2, you're like, was this a good idea? I don't know. Maybe I should stay on my job because I get benefits and a check every 2 weeks. So every day you have to anchor yourself. In some different ways you can anchor yourself. Reading books, right? I read books, and I read books that kind of fit where I am in life at the moment. Those help me. Scripture, memorizing scriptures, they help. Jeremiah 29:11, that is a popular verse. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, to give you hope in the future. I like the Message version because I feel like it just hits different, and it says, I know what I'm doing. And I like to throw my name in there too. I know some people might not like that, but I'll say, I know what I'm doing, Chantel. I have it all planned out, Chantel. Plans to take care of you, not abandon you. Plans to give you the future that you hope for. That verse has kept me and continues to keep me, right? Another thing, affirmations, words of affirmations. Encourage yourself. Speak out loud positive things. I am statements. I say that every day in the mirror. I am a serial entrepreneur. I am a profitable event-based owner. I am a serial giver. Poverty ran in my family until it ran into me. Affirmations. Speak life over yourself. Speak life over yourself. Speak these positive things so often, so frequently, that it's natural. It's natural. That's what you think all the time. It's natural for you to think positive things. Like, that's how often you need to keep reminding yourself. Or maybe sayings that you may have gotten from other people that you admire, like your social media mentors. Like, it has to work or it has to work. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Get anchored. Whatever it is that works for you, find it. Find it. It is important. It is super important for you to be anchored. Because this journey, this leap of faith, this risk that you want to take, that you are taking, that you're about to take, is not for the faint of heart. And neither are you, right? Neither are you. You got this. You can do this. You got to stay anchored up here. When you get anchored up here mentally, you can be anchored physically. So, those are my tips to helping you do it scared. If any of this helps you, if you have anything else to add, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to come along with me on my journey on new entrepreneurship, and just for additional practical tips on how to take a leap of faith. See you next week.